This is Morning Stock Watch for 15 February 2020 for SPY, Netflix, and Tesla. Starting out with SPY. Weekly closing price $337.60. SPY ended the week again very bullish with two very strong weeks which were bought up off of the lows set on the week beginning on the 27th of January, which brought the market down to support at the Tenkan-sen or around the 9-period moving average on the week due to coronavirus fears. The overall trend of the market continues to be very bullish, with some things to consider. The weekly chart continues to have strong overbought negative divergences, with the first and second peaks on January 22, 2018 and January 13, 2020. This negative divergence is completed, which means there are two complete overbought tops. Price still appears it has its eye on 340, which also happens to be around the weekly fan resistance, so it's probable that we'll see some kind of correction or reversal. Shifting focus to other areas of the broader market, simply looking at the weekly candles in comparison with SPY, all of these sectors and ETFs have closed the week higher than last week, along with setting record highs with the exception of IWM. However, it too still looks bullish. IWM appears to have hit its 170 level during the week beginning on January 13, 2020, as opposed to the rest of the markets hitting their highs this week. Looking closer at IWM on the daily chart, there is a good amount of hidden bullish divergence where the RSI is making lower lows with price making higher lows. This kind of divergence is bullish, and IWM appears to want prices above 170. How much more above 170, I'm not too sure, but it should get interesting as the SPY gets closer to 340. So, now where did the markets go from here? A couple weeks ago on SPY, we were looking for a possible retest of the Tenkan-sen at 320 due to the negative divergences, and we got that. Since then, price has been bought up off of 320, and we're back near the 340 level, which is where the real moves are anticipated. Next on the list is Netflix, weekly close price $380.40. For the past 11 weeks, we've been looking for our price target of $385, and we've reached that and then some. Now we can see that traders at the $385 are selling. Additionally, as price has made it to the resistance of $385, it will have quite a few sellers. The past two trading days, Netflix has tapped the $385 level and sold off from there, creating a tweezer's top with Friday's close forming a red evening star, as well as closing below the VWAP on the day. Also, we have negative overbought divergences on RSI and volume. With all of these resistance levels and negative divergences and bearish chart patterns at these levels, it's most probable that price will at least temporarily decrease for Netflix. 365 looks pretty solid. Looking at the options chain for 28 February, most call volume and open interest are around the $400 level. So it appears through the options chain at least that 400 is definitely in the plan for Netflix in the future. And last on the list is Tesla. Weekly close price $800.03. Last week there were lots of talk about Tesla being in a bubble, and it could still be possible, but for now things look pretty good for a possible attempt at a new high above 968. And the reason is because price is in this weird bull flaggish symmetrical pattern that seems to want higher. We could have seen 580 to 650, but this time we didn't. Even with the recall news, price only made a dip to 715 or so and shot right back up. We now have some clear support and resistance inside this symmetrical wedge, which appears more bullish than bearish. But when I take a look at the options chain for Tesla, with expiration date of March 6, looking at out-of-the-money calls and puts, we can see far more options traders are getting short on Tesla, with puts with $700 having the heaviest volume. So a break in the wedge to the downside is a very high possibility as well, with again 700, 650 and 580 being important downside levels. For upside, $900 and $1,000 are strong targets to look out for, which are also very possible in the near future.